Welcome to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Raptors lead this first-round series 2-1. Sherm, they are trying to take, well, an almost insurmountable lead at 3-1. Do they have that killer instinct? You just can't relax after winning a couple games.
Well, you can't, and we don't know if they have that killer instinct. They've never been in this situation, at least this group hasn't been. But it's going to be interesting to see how Game 4 unfolds, because the Raptors have a golden opportunity now to really put a chokehold on this series. And can they muster up whatever it takes to see the importance of getting that job done? It's going to be interesting. I think their leaders have to be good, their role players have to be good, but there has to be a collective understanding of the importance of getting this game. You don't want to settle, yeah, you got one game, now you've got home court back. Can you get greedy? Can you want more in a situation that will really put you in a great position when you head back home?
They can't exhale, Sherm, as they like to say. And you talked about the leaders being good, the role players being good. Let's look at a couple of those guys in terms of DeMar DeRozan, one of the leaders, and DeMar Carroll, who came in in Game 3 and did a terrific job on Paul George.
Well, I thought it was important for DeMar to get his offensive game going, and the Raptors rely on that from him on a night-to-night basis. And he's been good all regular season, but the first two games in the playoffs, he struggled at the Air Canada Center. And I think getting out of that home confinement and understanding that the pressure is off a bit, because I thought he played a bit tight. He really got his offense going early in Game 3, and that was a sight for sore eyes. His first and one, the bench erupted and cheered him on. So it was good to see that. And for DeMar Carroll, I mean, we've talked about this many times. A guy who's a defender needs to be engaged in the process from the jump.
Just enough, huh?
Yeah, he needs to know who he's going to defend, get the tendencies of the offensive guy. As people talk about rhythm and flow regarding offense, the same thing happens on the defensive end. And I think DeMar Carroll got that. And I thought his effort in terms of fighting through screens, continuing to battle through and chase from behind in terms of contesting Paul George from the back, and then also his team built inside the defensive presence that helped him get time to get back into position. So I thought it was a great collective effort, but I've always said this, the guy on the ball, the individual defending the ball, has to be accountable and present, and I thought DeMar Carroll did a great job of that.
They have a bunch of towels on the seats here in Indianapolis, and the Raptors hope to make them crying towels and maybe have the Pacers throw in the towel after being down 3-1. But Sherm, you always say it, a dangerous team, a wounded team is a dangerous team. What do you expect from Indiana? I just know we're going to see more aggression from them, particularly Paul George.
No question about it, and Paul George talked today in practice about the fact that he's got to be a guy who understands how to be a leader, how to get everybody involved, how to make the guys around him better. If you think about the first two games, Paul George basically won Game 1 in Toronto, and in Game 2 he nearly did the job on his own. He's going to need help, and he's trying to implore his teammates, but as a leader and a guy who's going to have the ball in his hands so much, he has to understand how to utilize his teammates to the best of their ability. So I expect Indiana to come out and throw some haymakers early in the game and be physical and make sure they try to send a message. The interesting thing to see will be how the Raptors react to that. Are they going to withstand that? Are they going to come out throwing punches? And is it just going to be a street fight here in Indianapolis?
All right, you can see what happens tomorrow, Saturday, 3 o'clock on Sportsnet 1, and hear it on TSN 1050. And don't forget, the pregame starts on NBA TV Canada and Sportsnet 1 at 2:30.